Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on the Silver Mountain and welcome back. Today I wouldn't ordinarily do a kind of relationship focused video or something like that, but I've received a fair number of comments recently, some of which have just kind of stood out to me, and so I just wanted to make a short video about this because some of these have been um, kind of exemplary of why I've been doing this, and some of them are just kind of interesting to me. There aren't that many, because again, a lot of the things, most of the content contact rather I've been having with you guys has actually been via email, and some of those are very personal, so I don't really want to go into those. But there have been a few comments that have kind of stood out to me. I've engaged with. I've replied to the comments directly on the videos that they've been posted on. But I wanted to just take a look at these and kind of say what they mean to me, what my thoughts are on them, because I'll reply to them in the moment when I sit down and I see there's new comments, and I have the time to just sit, read, reply. But obviously there are times when I go away and there are more things in my head that kind of spring up from it, and kind of where I want to go, and where I would like to maybe go back and redress the point. But it's something that I just haven't done for whatever reason, be it because I'm busy, be it because I don't necessarily feel like spamming my own comment section with my own comments is really either a smart or a reasonable thing to do. But hey ho, the first one that I wanted to touch on was one from a while ago around a video that I did on intimacy and what it kind of means and the mechanics of it. And this person, Rigami I, either way, I was in the middle of studying psychological intimacy while watching your Conan Exiles video. Interesting. Well, yeah, as I say there, it's a fun coincidence, but then again, also I found that this is a thing that has started happening a lot between the two types of video that I do. Especially considering that I try to address the gaming videos with a very kind of goal orientated kind of planning or story focused approach to them, or the coaching videos where I'm either trying to attach a very step-by-step approach to it, or I'm trying to put it into the context of maybe a bit more of a story, telling your own story, making yourself the hero of it so that you can progress. And so, I've seen other people who have come to videos for gaming, as Rigami I did here, and Rigami either way. But I've seen a fair number of people come to the videos on Subnautica or on Paladins or Conan Exiles, as many of you did. Up until this point, up until one video which I'll take a look at a comment from in a minute, which was a Conan Exiles video. The largest audience that I had spoken to, kind of in person, or generally, was one that I'd spoken to face to face in the flesh. And until that video, was something like, must have been over 10 times as many people that came and took a look at that video, and the retention time on that video was really good as well. So again, thank you for that. But yeah, this is something that I've noticed. It's something that I'm kind of thankful for, because I feel like the world is becoming more gamified and stuff like that. So having that crossover, having the two types of content and being able to interconnect them is useful, and it's something that's cool. And as you say, it's interesting. And so this is what I'm going to continue doing, and hopefully, like Rigami, your name confuses me, but hopefully, like Rigami, other people are going to find that useful. Other people are going to find that interesting or enjoyable to come and find the two different things and how I'm trying to work them together. But again, thank you for the comment. The next one is one from the Conan Exiles video that did very, very well for me, in terms of number of views and in terms of the retention and so on. But I realise, as I've said before, that in other videos that at times I've had issues with frame rate. Sometimes, especially in early access games like Conan Exiles, like Subnautica, they don't always run the most, in the best way, and they're not always the smoothest. Um, but this guy, Resented Ghost, decided to tell me straight up that my frames give him cancer. Now, as this is a scientific impossibility, as I said right there, that I reckon he should probably seek medical attention. But following on from that, as I walked away from the keyboard at the time, I was thinking, well, if he's genuinely been diagnosed with cancer, then if it can't possibly be my video, that's a literal impossibility. In which case, he should probably be checking his microwave and any other appliances with any kind of radiation source in them, purely because if he's in this kind of situation, then there's a good chance that other people are at risk as well. And sarcasm aside, the comments, whether they're either just trying to let me know or like this, where I actually found it funny to begin with. It's a case of, fair enough, I want to hear. If you don't like what I'm doing, please tell me as much as if you do. I can I've taken some things away from people who have maybe asked me to put stuff up on screen more when I've got points that I'm putting up, or when people have asked me to make other tweaks and improvements as best I can. It's stuff that I'm working on. It's stuff that I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get my head around all of the different facets of the new editing software that I've got, and it's a little temperamental at times, but I think that's more me missing steps along whatever process I need to work out, rather than not. And then on top of that, for a while, for some reason, OBS started arguing with every single game I was recording. It was after the 19.0 whatever patch, and it started fighting with me on a lot of stuff. And I don't know if it was a conflict with other programs. I don't know if it was just something in that patch that had changed and I hadn't gone through it all. I realised that there was also there have been a couple of times when the video that I've got, like in its original form, on my PC has run perfectly, but then seemingly when I've put it up on YouTube, there have been not lots of choppy areas as there have been where OBS has been kind of kicking up a fuss, but there are moments that it just seems to slow down, periodically through the video, and I'm not entirely sure if that's YouTube, if it's the compression that they use, if it's my internet when uploading the video or anything like that, but it's something that I'm continually trying to address, because obviously I want to put out the kind of best quality content that I can, and even if it's a jokey comment like this, then I can joke back and I can take it on board and go, okay, well, this is still a thing that I need to address. But anyway, the next one, this was one that stood out to me around some of the game stuff that I've touched on. Some people have been really helpful in trying to kind of suggest ways that, like in that Conan Exiles video that did very well, people were coming across and saying, well, actually, if you use this block, then it'll work better. It'll actually function. And as much as I tried that in testing things out and building it in the first place, I hadn't gone back and checked after the first couple of patches came through to fix various things. So it's something that I very much appreciate when people are coming and trying to tell me where stuff is, or if I've missed something in one way or the other, then I very much appreciate it, because it means I can then go back and take a look. Or in certain instances, as with one of the Subnautica videos that I've done where I was having trouble with the ladders, someone came along and said, yeah, well, you can still use them, they just work this way now. And I found that like just after I'd finished recording, when I was tying stuff up in the game. But I very much appreciate people trying to help. It's like I'm trying to help you guys by presenting information in coaching videos and presenting points for discussion. And so I appreciate it when you either come back to help me or, like Roy Checker here, putting forward a point that they're kind of disagreeing with me on. And in this case, they say that this was from one of the most recent Warframe videos that I did, where I was saying that the rewards for the quest didn't seem substantial enough. They didn't seem to be much more than an invitation to farm for the parts of the Warframe before then farming for the parts to make the parts of the Warframe. Which again seems a little kind of Skinner boxy to me. If you've watched the video that I did on Skinner boxes, just getting people to come back and run on that treadmill for the tiny rewards. But he says, the quests don't have farming. DE basically moved all the farming to after the quests. The tedious things in quests are solely for the lore and story. Previous quests like the Limbo Theorem and Hidden Messages from farming inside have farming inside them with a deep story about the individual Warframe. However, with the newest quests, it doesn't focus on the Warframe but the overall story. It doesn't make sense to get Warframe parts just by completing missions where you basically capture ghosts or step on musical pads. See, now I would say, as I said, my whole comment didn't really fit in the screen, unfortunately. But what I said was that the point that I was trying to make in the video as I was playing, so I may not have made the point particularly clearly, was that the older quests did have farming in the middle of it. Fair enough. But then you move towards some of the more recent quests, kind of Inneros and some of those others that have come out more recently, where for each part of the quest you get a part of the Warframe, and as a result, because you've got those parts, essentially, you can then just go and get the materials to make the parts, to make the Warframe, and that's it. You don't need to go running around all over the place for a further extended kind of grinding farming experience. And yet now, with these newer quests, the last two that I've put up on the channel, it kind of worries me, because I also know what they're going to do next after seeing what they kind of showed off at Tenacon. And with this game in particular, they've got a good track record, so I'm very much in the situation where I'm thinking I'm hoping for the best, because they've got a good track record. DE overall have a very good track record. They're very transparent a lot of the time with the player base and what they're planning to do. And so, for the most part, I'm kind of happy to trust them. But at the same time, they have made questionable decisions in the past, and they have often then left them there and moved forward until such time as they see right to review them, rather than just going back and fixing them straight away. And again, there is an argument for letting it sit, gaining information, gaining data, so that they can make the best informed correction after the fact. But in regards to the quests and the rewards, I feel like the way that the quests are formatted now, with you getting only the blueprint as the reward for the whole quest chain, and then being invited to go and farm the Warframe parts, and then after you've done that, go and farm the rest of the materials for it. Because again, if you're not using a wiki or anything like that, then there's a good chance you won't know what you need for each Warframe until you've got all of those, until you've actually found all of those parts. And so, and as much as I see wikis and kind of game walkthroughs and things like that as being a valuable resource in the modern age, again, they shouldn't be there purely to make up for a lack of information in the game itself. This is arguably the same thing as the whole thing that happened with Destiny, and the fact that their grimoires were up on a website outside of the game. In my view, everything about a game should, as it was for a very long time, be in the game, and so you shouldn't have to go outside it for a wiki or whatever else, purely to find stuff. Now, that plays into the exploration element of games and some of that stuff, and obviously sometimes you don't want to waste time, and having those wikis there can be useful, but they shouldn't be kind of a crux over, a big crutch overall, rather. And so here, taking a look at it, where they're saying there's no reason, doesn't make any sense. Well, sense to the lore doesn't really make sense to the loot table anyway, considering the amount of RNG that's in the game, random number generation for what loot you get, and also, it doesn't doesn't necessarily make an awful lot of sense that we got Warframe parts from other quests in the past as well. It doesn't necessarily make a huge amount of sense that just because we were fighting Tomb Guardians in regards to Inneros, that we got parts of the Warframe as we went. This is where the kind of ludonarrative dissonance sits in Warframe, where in a more real world situation, where the lore and the context for the game were very solid, very realistic, then it would be a case of finding out where a thing is and then going and acquiring it. It wouldn't be worrying about the RNG, having to grind over and over again to try and get that one piece of that one thing that you need. And so as a result, I feel that that's a very wide divide potentially. And so with this particular comment, I stand by what I said, because the way that it's being formatted now seems to be more of a quantity of content over a quality of content, and as a result, that worries me, considering that Warframe is going into having open world environments, and where you've got things like kind of novel gimmicky things that are in other MMOs like fishing and stuff like that. The finding and creating unique weapons that you can tailor to yourself, as part of a new weapon crafting system. It all sounds very cool, but at the same time, it does worry me that there'll be, at that point, maybe 3 steps to farming things just to get one thing that may or may not really be as good as what's already in the game. And so as a result, the worth of those items, the value for them, the value of the content, the quality of the content overall may not be what we want from it. And in regards to kind of the way that game development is going, and the way that certain things have happened around other games that I very much enjoy or have felt very disappointed by, I am going to go into a kind of case study on that in the future, but that's going to be potentially a bit of a labour of love, so I'll have to see how that goes as to when I can get that out to you guys, because it's going to be the most edit heavy and kind of excessive amount of content generation that I will have had to do so far. But it's that big project that I want to work on, I want to share with you guys, and it's something that I want to kind of test myself with as well. So and as a result, that's where my comments during the video were kind of coming from. I still love Warframe to bits. I still think that DE are going to do a great job with the things that they're doing, but there are things that concern me, and maybe I feel that they could do better. And I'm not saying that it's just terrible, it's just shit. What I am saying is that this is where they're going, and this is where I feel improvements could be made, and this is how I would improve it. I'm trying to be as constructive with the criticism that I have as possible, and so as a result, it's something that I enjoy, it's something that I care about, it's something that I want to share with you guys as something that's fun, that also allows me to talk about the planning and the coaching side of things, building up my kind of list of things to do and how I'm going to achieve it, for things like farming weapons or Warframes and doing whatever else, but also the same in other games anyway. But anyway, guys, I wanted to close off this video with one comment that kind of came out like over the last week or so, and it's a comment that really kind of struck home with why I'm doing this, why I've come onto this platform, why I've spent so much time trying to learn how to do the editing and the recording and sorting out my tech and whatever else, as well as everything else. And that was these comments from Zach Wahid, and this was on a video that I did ages ago, and it was 11 ways to get someone out of your head after a breakup, and it was a video that I made very much to kind of help a friend who was going through hard times. At the time, she had come to me and she was talking to me about this stuff, and as a result, it was fresh in my mind. You know, I'd recently pulled it up, I'd recently gone through it with someone, and as a result, it was like there are lots of other people who I'm sure would like benefit from this, and it was on my list of videos to do anyway. But it was one that I moved up at the time to put out faster. But apparently Zach found it when he was having a tough time, and so he decided to leave me these really nice comments, which I'll read. And he said, "Thank you, thanks, man. You helped me out very much, and I really appreciate that you made this video. It helped me get over some major shit. Thanks." Them tears were replaced by a smile. "Thanks, bro." And you know, I replied back, and I very much stand by what I said here, because you know it sucks when you hear that someone else is having a crappy time. You know, even if you don't know that person. You know, I've been sat in an airport before and had people kind of in the coffee shop around me looking and feeling miserable, and they've been sobbing, and I've kind of seen if they're okay and had a little chat with them, and it sucks when you hear someone's having a bad time. But again, I'm glad I could help. I'm glad that I could maybe present this information out there so that you got a benefit from it. You know, and I hope the same is for any other coaching video or any other bits of content that I put out. But again, when I started doing this, one of the main reasons for me to kind of come onto YouTube was that when I was coaching individuals, or when I was trying to farm myself out more to find kind of corporate contracts, or when I was still coaching, when I was actually full-time employed by various different large companies, it kind of became a case of I was only helping one person at a time, maybe 3 or 4 at most. If I was doing some kind of induction or training day, maybe up to 30 or so. I think the largest number of people I ever had sit in on a training thing was about 120. But again, it was still like I was telling them stuff that was purely related to their job. I wasn't helping them with their self-improvement. I wasn't helping them with how miserable they were, their relationships, which are such a big and important thing in people's lives. I wasn't helping them or talking to them about any of that, in spite of the fact that I was kind of learning to be a coach. I was developing my skills that I already had towards kind of taking on coaching as a full-time thing. I was working with a few other coaches in regards to dating and kind of product development around kind of online dating and stuff like that as well. And so yeah, I wanted to bring that to more people, especially people that I wouldn't ever meet in person. People around the world who could maybe just use whatever I'm bringing to just get a little bit of a pick me up and carry on. So I that's kind of what I summarize in my comment back. And then he came back to me again and said that, "Bro, you made my life a ton happier, and I can officially enjoy life again. You are a great person, and there ain't many people like you, as most people nowadays say get over it, and that's it. But you gave me a method that works." And firstly, thank you very much. I don't think I necessarily deserve the compliments there, but at the same time, I can't take all of that credit. Thank you, but at the same time, Zach, you're the one who took just some information that I'd put out there. Yes, it might be a collection of steps and ideas and things to work with, the work that are kind of tried and tested, that have roots in psychology. But taking my continual story that I go back to, if I'm sat there as a guide on a mountainside, all I did was light a fire, light a torch to show you the way. You're the one that did the walking. Yeah. So again, I'm really glad the stuff that I put out there had an impact on you and that you've seen a benefit from it, and the it's made you happier. That's the important thing. But again, don't give me all the credit. You're the one that did the walking. You're the one that changed the way that you were thinking, or took whatever other points from that video and applied them to your life. You're the one that did the hard work. So, well done to you. And again, thank you very much for the comments and so on. It's very much appreciated, and it lets me know the what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, is at the very least making an impact. Yeah, as I've said in other videos before, when I get the odd comment, the odd email back where someone has seen a real benefit from the content that I'm trying to develop and put out there, it makes it worthwhile. It makes it something that I'm gonna keep trying at and working on, and looking to gain traction with. It's one of the reasons why I ask you guys to kind of like and like if you've liked it, and share and subscribe at the end of a video, because if you've seen one video and you've found something in it but it wasn't everything that you needed, then if you're presenting me with your thoughts in the comments, if you're dropping me a like to say that you want more videos on those kind of topics or on those kind of things, and then if you're sharing so that we can gain more kind of members, more people into the discussion, then there's always going to be that. I mean, this is said a lot in kind of primary school and high school to kids, but it's like, if you've got a question, if you've got a thing, then that probably means that 2 or 3 other people at least are going to have the same question. They're going to be confused by the same thing. So ask the question, or engage the other people in the conversation so they can ask the question for you. Gain that momentum, snowball it that way, and potentially we can start finding answers and helping each other out an awful lot more. And then, I say subscribe because, again, I wouldn't necessarily want you guys to miss something if there's been that video that you've taken a couple of things away from, but then I do another one on a similar topic that has more of what you would need, or more of what you would find useful. And obviously YouTube is a fickle mistress, and so she can kind of the platform may not always show when you're subscribed to me. You might not see every single video or whatever else, but at the same time, that's what the little notification bell is for. I'm sure you all know about this by now, and there are all manner of other bugs as well that I've seen now that I've hit over the 10,000 lifetime views, and so again, if you're finding what I'm doing useful, or if you're enjoying it, be it the gaming content, be it the coaching stuff, be it the news and politics kind of stuff, or the cultural commentary stuff that I do sometimes, then please just let me have a little bit of feedback, because this should be a two-way discussion. I mean, it's been kind of tough for me early on to get used to just talking quietly to a camera by myself. But at the same time, I've got more used to it, and I'm really glad that you guys have started talking back to me, which is, again, another reason why I wanted to make this video for today, because it may as well be, it might not be another normal relationship type of video, but it's a video about the relationship between you guys and me, and how, you guys are making an impact on myself the same way I'm hoping that I'm making some kind of positive impact on you guys. But either way, thank you very much again, guys, for comments, for watching the videos, and for kind of sticking around if you've been with me since I first started posting. But otherwise, thank you very much. I'm both surprised and thankful about some of the highs and lows that have come with setting out on this kind of path for myself, and I'm glad that I'm at least making a positive impact somewhere. But otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then please drop us a like, share this video, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.